Namaste Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityan Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udihayat Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swakadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakavalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajeevam Sadhaitam Sadadvitam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padahan Sahaganalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagat Pate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastite Rakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pradamani Hari Prihe Vanchakalpataru Nischa Kripa Sindhu Evacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण विद्यासागर के लिए प्रभुपाद की प्रिय श्री गिरिराजाय स्वामी सुरक्षण नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण विद्यासागर के लिए श्रीमती लीलावंत स्वामी नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं वन्दे श्री गुरु जी ने So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2. We are on text 13. So we are going very slowly, one verse, because there's so much instruction, knowledge that Srila Prabhupada has given in each purport. So again, I remind you that this first canto, Srila Prabhupada put everything that he wanted to teach us in this first canto. So that's why when I'm going like this, step by step, I'm having to elaborate huge. So if we manage to study this first canto, you could say that we have studied all the Bhagavatam, the full Bhagavatam. Because Prabhupada has put so much in it. अतः पुंभीर्द्विजा श्रेष्ठा वर्णाश्रम विभागसः समीचितस्य धर्मस्य संसिद्धिर्हरितोषणः. O best among the twice born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's own occupation, according to caste divisions and orders of life, is to please the personality of Godhead. Let us just look what was happening. Question asked by sages being answered. So the question was, what is the supreme occupation for the living being? So answer is devotional service. And when we do devotional service, then we will become detached. So automatically we get understanding, knowledge, and we become detached from this world. And our work, so whatever work we do, should aim at pleasing the Supreme Personality Godhead, otherwise just useless labor. Yes, so text 9, all occupation engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. I'm just showing, the flow, how the answer is coming. So we should work for self-realization and not for material gain. And again, it's emphasized that we should have a healthy life in order to inquire about the absolute truth. We should not maintain healthy life for sense gratification. Then it goes deeper. So what is that self-realization? What is that realization about the absolute truth? So information is given in text 11, that absolute truth is understood in three features, and they're non-dual, Advaita. They are one substance only. They are not matter and spirit. They are spirit only. So this spirit is divided into three aspects: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So who can know this absolute truth? It is only a seriously inquisitive student. A passerby, you just drop in the Bhagavatam class to hear something, here goes out there. No, you got to understand. So this Shrimad Bhagavatam, and if you are to progress on the path of self-realization, two qualifications: we must be serious and we should be inquisitive. I can be inquisitive, but I'm not serious. And what's the use? I'm curious, let me just here drop in and see what's going on, right? Whereas to be inquisitive is a qualification, but seriousness is a supremely required qualification. Otherwise, we won't reach the goal. So then text 13. Text 13. So now, how am I going to see? I am aiming at something that is beyond this material world. Just understand this. We are aiming at something that's beyond the material world, but we are in the material world. So there has to be a bridge. I have to walk from material to spiritual. I have to walk. When I say bridge, that bridge is being explained here. Atta Pumbir, a human being, Dvija Shreshtas Varnashrama Vibhagashaha. So that bridge is called Varnashram Dharma. The famous Varnashram Dharma that has been so much vilified in Kali Yuga. Because so much abuse has happened and misunderstood, it's been damaged. But it doesn't lose its value. Even though some things have gone wrong, it doesn't lose its value. Just like we say, like astrology is a science, but it's been misunderstood, misinterpreted, distorted, fake astrologers. It doesn't mean that the science is false. All right? So if we are able to learn and study properly, the science is intact. Similarly with Varnashram Dharma, it has been misunderstood, and specifically from all the history that I have heard from historians, devotee historians and others, that actually when there was foreign invasion, that's when the Varnashram system collapsed, because the invaders couldn't figure out what is Varnashram Dharma, so they corrupted it. They started by tearing at it, and naturally people become more and more crooked. Those who were followers of Varnashram Dharma themselves, they became more and more crooked, and it just started tearing. Now in Shrimad Bhagavatam, we are learning the proper system of Varnashram. So we need to know this, because that Varnashram is a bridge between the material between the material and the spiritual. 1 minute. So I read again. Oh, best among the twice born. It is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's own occupation according to Varnashram Dharma. It has an aim. It is to please the Supreme Personal Godhead. Samsiddhir, the perfection of our duties in Varnashram Dharma, is to please the Supreme Personal Godhead. Samsiddhir Hari Toshana. Ashwini, you like to read? Do you have a book with you?
Yeah, I have a computer. I have it on my
Okay, so just read.
A purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Human society all over the world is divided into 4 castes and 4 orders of life. The 4 castes are the intelligent caste, the material, the martial caste, the productive caste, and the laborer caste. These castes are classified in terms of one's work and qualification and not by birth. Then again, there are 4 orders of life, namely the student life, the householder's life, the retired, and the devotional life. In the best interest of human society, there must be such divisions of life. Otherwise, no social institution can grow in a healthy state. And in each and every one of the above mentioned divisions of life, the aim must be to please the supreme authority of the personality of Godhead. This institutional function of human society is known as the system of Varnashram Dharma, which is quite natural for the civilized life. The Varnashram institution is constructed to enable one to realize the absolute truth. It is not for artificial domination of one division over another. When the aim of life, that is realization of absolute truth, is missed by too much attachment for indriya priti or sense gratification, as already discussed herein before, the institution of Varnashram is utilized by selfish men to pose an artificial predominance over the weaker section. In the Kali Yuga, or in the age of coral, this artificial predominance is already current, but the saner section of the people know it well that the division of caste and order is of life are meant for smooth social intercourse and the high thinking self realization and not for any other purpose. Herein, the statement of Bhagavatam is that the highest aim of life or the highest perfection of the institution of the Varnashram Dharma is to cooperate jointly for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.13.
Okay, it's quite clear. So, 4 castes: intelligent, martial, productive, and laborer. So naturally, the Brahmana is the intellectual class, intelligent, the martial, productive. So Vaishya means those who produce, like the farmers, and those who are rendering service to everybody else, the laborers, the Shudra class. So then again, there are 4 orders of life. So Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanapras, and Sannyas. So now, see, this is what Prabhupada has. In the best interest of human society, there must be such divisions of life, otherwise no social institution can grow in a healthy state. Prabhupada is putting it very straight. He said, if you don't have this division, no social institution can grow in a healthy state. What does that mean? In each and every one of the above mentioned divisions of life, the aim must be to please the supreme authority of the personal Godhead. This institutional function of human society is known as a system of Varnashram Dharma. So this Varnashram Dharma, it is, everybody must do some work, right? Whoever we may be, we must do some work. And there is a natural inclination in different types of people. So they are classified according to their inclination, according to their occupation. Like, this girl this morning, she told me she's working in our office. So we went out somewhere and she said, oh, I know this place. I worked in such and such place here. And something to do with photography, I don't know what. And so I said, oh, so you left? She said, no, he kicked me out in 10 days. And I said, oh, why, what happened? So I didn't know what I'm supposed to do, right? So trial and error, so I don't know how she ended up in a photography thing. And then talking, this one, she told me, actually, I wanted to be a teacher. All right. So you see how we're all confused. And this girl is now 27 years old. So this is the tragedy that happens when you don't know what is your occupation. You couldn't figure out. I remember how this one lady, like a professional, so she told me 3 times she had to change her profession. And she was already in her 30s before finally she found what's proper for her, what's good for her, So whereas in this system of Varnashram, it's like laid out. What are you? It's laid out. So not that you're meant to be a laborer and you say, no, let me sit in the post of the administrator. I just heard Prabhupada say, if you're a dishwasher and somebody is a judge, right? You say, should we both, why is he earning this much? Why is the judge earning this much? And why am I earning this much? Like we say, everything is classed as everybody's equal. So why the dishwasher earning this much and the judge is earning this much? So the judge, I'm giving a crude example which Prabhupada explained here. If the judge, he gives a wrong judgment, all right? And he gives a wrong judgment, especially if he accepts a huge bribe, all right? He accepts a huge bribe and he gives a wrong judgment and he condemns an innocent party, all right? This judge, meaning now I guess he comes in between the Brahmana. A judge should be a Brahmana, right? And maybe because law and order also he has to take care of all this. So he should be a mixture of a Brahmana and a Kshatriya, right? Like Yudhishthir Maharaj. He's a Kshatriya, but he's so much also in the mode of goodness, right? So a judge should be like this. But if he becomes corrupted and he accepts a bribe and vote against an innocent person, that person goes to hell, right? He goes to hell. He himself is judged by the agents of Yamduta and he's put to hell. Whereas a dishwasher, if he's doing his work properly, he's having the proper mood that I am doing this work honestly as he needs to do, and he's dharmic, and he's thinking whatever salary I'm earning, I'm going to offer bhog to my Lord and I'm going to eat. All right. So this dishwasher, according to this verse, in each and every one of the above mentioned divisions of life, the aim must be to please the supreme authority of the person Godhead. So if the judge is earning so much, he has a better position, that if his aim is not to follow the dharma of the supreme person Godhead, he goes to hell. Whereas this one small person who's a dishwasher, if he does his work properly, and if he takes the fruits of his labor and he offers it to Krishna, and this is how he is eating his food, this person is pleasing the supreme person Godhead. This institutional function of human society is known as the system of Varnashram Dharma, which is quite natural for the civilized life. So if you're civilized, you're going to have this type of system where you do your own work, all right? It is not, so the Varnashram institution is constructed to enable one to realize the absolute truth. It is not for artificial dominion of one division over another. So they say that in the time when Varnashram Dharma was proper, they say that the householder, like the house owners, they will wear gold, and their servants also will wear gold. So it was not that one section is dominating another. Aim of life, that is realization of the absolute truth, is missed by too much attachment for indriya priti or sense gratification. Then what happens? So when we use this, but I'll just explain a little bit what I understood and from reading here. Now this system of Varnashram Dharma is for who? Who is it meant for?
Everybody, depending on what caste they are, for all the civilization.
This system of division of caste and social order, who is it meant for? Prabhupada wrote there.
Everyone.
It is for
Everyone.
civilized life.
Civilized life.
All right. So if you happen to be civilized, all right, so it's the Vedic civilization, we call it, right? The Vedic civilization, so they had that system of Varnashram Dharma. Varnashram Dharma, okay? Now, when you have people who are uncivilized, all right, when they're uncivilized, they capture a civilization. They can't figure out what is this civilization, right? And actually, I don't know what, I think maybe second canto, it's going to be excellent, probably explain this whole thing. Anyway, everybody knows from Mahabharata. The entire world is Bharatvarsh, right? It's the Varsha is known as Bharatvarsh. There are 9 Varshas in the universe, in Bhumandala. There are in Bhumandala there are so many Dvip, and then in Jambudvip there are 9 Varshas. So one Varsha is known as Bharatvarsh. The entire globe is known as Bharatvarsh. All right. And originally the entire world was following this Varnashram Dharma, naturally. But due to the influence of Kali Yuga, some people deviated from Varnashram Dharma, and they were thrown out from those sections that was following Varnashram Dharma. All right. So that's how the world got divided. But actually, everybody was following Varnashram Dharma. But in course of time, some people became corrupted due to the gunas. Kali Yuga means degeneration of everything. So now, so what happened? Like one section of the world is following Varnashram Dharma and another section is not following Varnashram Dharma. They became degraded. Right? So we read how Parasuram threw out, the Kshatriyas, they were becoming fallen. Then we read how the Pandavas, they threw out, those kings who had become fallen. But when inside what remains of Bharatvarsh, when inside they became weak, they lost their dharma, then those people who had been thrown out, they came back and they conquered back what we call today Bharatvarsh. You understand? That's the history. All right? That's the history. I think in second canto, so that's how the Greek who were thrown out, they came back, they tried to conquer India. Then the Mughal who were thrown out and they came back, they conquered India, and this one, that one, they were all thrown out. But then when inside they became weak, then those who were thrown out, they came in and they conquered back. All right. So this is how they broke the system of Varnashram. And what was the result? Then because this struggle for supremacy is natural in the conditioned soul. It's just natural. You want to dominate some other group. So when the civilization was broken and the system like shook, naturally the innate quality to dominate another section came very strong. So that's what they did. Until today, you can see it. So those who have money, who are powerful, then they will dominate those who are weaker. But now what is happening, those who are weaker, they're becoming powerful, and then they are dominating those who are, those who dominated them, 50 years ago, right? Or 100 years ago. That's what's happening. So they will tell you, like the laborer class, they were the weaker section, but then they were dominated by the other three. So now at present time, you find that that class, the laborer class, they are getting more and more position and more power, right? And then they start dominating and dictating their terms to the higher society. It becomes big mess and chaos, right? So that's why we say in the household, we don't know who's the servant and who's the master. Because the servant is dictating their terms, right? On what term they're going to work for you. And you have to say, yes, madam, yes, sir, yes, madam, right? You have to accept their terms. So, in Kali Yuga or in the age of quarrel, this artificial predominance is already current. But the saner section of the people, okay, so I hope Prabhupada's makers become sane, right? If we didn't know, Prabhupada's makers become sane. So the saner section of the people know it well, that the divisions of castes and orders of life are meant for smooth social intercourse and high thinking self-realization, and not for any other purpose. All right? For smooth, you know, how you'll be relieved if your maid will cooperate with you. How the maid will be relieved if the employee is treating them properly. Right? Not extracting work. So now they don't want to do it anymore. So the shift now, I heard that the maid's children say, no, we are not going to work in people's house. What are we going to do? We'll go to school, we'll learn this, and then we'll go to, and we're going to demand the same salary as anybody else. Right, 25,000 in India. Right? Anyway, I don't want to speak too much on all this, but it's pathetic. It's pathetic. So just imagine if the maid or the maid's children want to earn 25, then those who have better abilities, more intelligence, they want to earn 75,000, right? Automatically, they want to earn 75,000. So then it is, it's like, it's artificial. So here Prabhupada is saying it's artificial. And therefore, so this competition will go on and on. Just go on. So there is no smooth social intercourse. So if both of them will come down, you know, and they cooperate with each other, then they can work together properly and everybody is satisfied. So for that one more skilled worker, if he's or she's to earn 75 lakh, and if they're producing something, us who are customers, we have to pay for the salary of 75,000, right? You understand what I'm saying? They become poorer and poorer and poorer. So this poor, you know, laborers class who said, now I'm going to be rich, I'm going to sit in an office and earn 25,000, he or she will also become poor. Yeah. So if we are satisfied with our own work, each and everybody is satisfied with their own work, and if we deal with each other properly, we appreciate, you know, just like today I went to the clinic, you know, and then I just said, you know, how much I owe all of you, right? If you were not there, you were not there to take care of me, and so many people, you know, this one little bit, how much I owe each one of you. There were two doctors, both of them, because I said it, both of them literally got off their seat and said, we are here to serve. Literally, that's what they said. You know, just that, I don't know how many people tell them this simple thing, you know, how much I depend on all of you. Like, you have the knowledge, you have this, you know, and here I am, you know, I'm dependent on you. So much they appreciate it. Yeah, so high thinking. So immediately that person started speaking of Krishna. And when I took out my little packet of prasadam pera, both of them stood up and put out their hand like this. High thinking or self-realization. All right. That was the original Varnashram Dharma. I'm just taking again, it was a very good example for me. So now I have met the doctors. Then there was just a worker there, just a simple worker there. And then he just started saying that my sister and I, my day off is on Monday. My sister and I, we always come and just take darshan and sit in the kirtan. And the prasadam, immediately I pull out my pocket and say, here's prasad for you. And what did he do? Immediately took off his shoes and came. Right? So, so everybody, so we need them and they're happy to serve us. Right? Just little bit of appreciation, right? So this tilak, putting on this tilak, because I could have looked like anybody else, right? But I went as I am. So this tilak, this kantimala, and my bead bag created a different change. Right? It just created a different change in that clinic. And it was like first time or second time that I'm going there. Because of Krishna. I'm just explaining ordinary work and the reaction, the mood, the interaction, because everybody started thinking and speaking of Krishna. Now, how many hundreds and thousands of people are walking through their clinic? Do they get the opportunity to think or speak of Krishna? Right? Statement of Bhagavatam is that the highest aim of life or the highest perfection of the institution of the Varnashram Dharma is to cooperate jointly for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 4.13. All right? Cooperate is to cooperate jointly for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Again, I'll continue the same topic, because that was just, maybe it was just like a remnants or relics of Varnashram Dharma, what I experienced today with this, So this person started telling me, how they have their clinic in Vrindavan. So then say that the person who started this clinic, so his brother is in Vrindavan, this. Then I say, Vrindavan? Oh, this is nice. I go to Vrindavan. I just said, I go to Vrindavan. Then I say, you are there. Then I said, we have to leave this body one day. But why should we suffer unnecessarily? Why not take help from you and reduce our suffering? You cannot imagine like what that doctor, how he reacted to this. That we are going to die anyway, we know we're going to die, but you help us die smoothly, not with pain and agony and, so much unnecessary suffering. He spoke of Vrindavan. Okay, his consciousness went to Vrindavan. So he was reminded. So he was reminded of Vrindavan. I mean, so for me, it was a very, very rarely, that I meet people like this. So I guess they were from that background. They come from Haryana, I think that's their main place. So they expanded everywhere. So they had that mood and that culture. So anyway, it came to my mind when I read this. Text 14. Tasmadekenam hanasaha Bhagavan sarvatam patihi Shrutavya kirtitavyascha Dheya pujascha nityada. Therefore, with one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship the personality of Godhead, who is the protector of the devotees. This is a very, very important verse. Therefore, what is that therefore? Meaning that when I'm doing my work, my occupation, my aim has to be samsiddhir haritoshana. I should want to satisfy the Supreme Lord. So at the end of the day, when I've completed my work, I should feel that I have satisfied the Supreme Person of Godhead. Therefore, with one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship the Person of Godhead, who is the protector of the devotees. Bhagavan Sattvatam Patihi. Patihi means the protector, the maintainer. If realization of the absolute truth is the ultimate aim of life, it must be carried out by all means. Prabhupada is putting a statement here. If I have understood this seriously inquisitive sage student, if he has understood or she has understood that the ultimate aim of life is realization of the absolute truth, then we must follow the process by which we can realize this by all means. This is if you're serious. Otherwise, time passed, I came, I dropped in. Right? This is our ordinary language. I just dropped in. You don't drop in a Bhagavatam class, right? You don't do this. You won't get anything, right? A seriously inquisitive student. This is what Bhagavatam is saying. So if you have got the message, then Prabhupada is saying, by all means, I must get realization of this absolute truth. In any of the above mentioned castes and orders of life, the four processes, namely glorifying, hearing, remembering, and worshipping, are general occupation. I have given you a classic example. Now I'm in India. I've been in India for years and years and years. All right. First time when I went to one clinic, all right, I'm saying I've been many places. This is one place, in one place only I saw everything was practiced. Everything was practiced. As I described to you, maybe in Ahmedabad also people are like this, is it? Anupama? Is
Yes,
it?
Mataji. Yes,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Yeah,
Jai
they're like this, right? I don't know in Guwahati how people are. How are they, Ashwini?
No, they in fact worship Bhagavatam there. It is so amazing. In their culture, all of them, they have what is it called? Namgar. They call it Namgar in every locality. Namgar, and once they keep on coming for donations, they have lot of every week kirtan in their own language. So Shankar Dev, he has propagated. He had come to Vrindavan, and he is a social and spiritual reformer of that state. So entire state is sings Bhagavatams.
So here I'm saying that after so many, like in Bombay, I've moved in different. So I'm saying I got a sample. All right, I got a sample of what is being described here. One shot, this is exactly what they did: glorify, hear, remember, and they worshipped along with their occupation. Without these principles of life, no one can exist. So I was happy, right? So they're happy. They saw me, they were happy, and seeing the reaction, I became happy. And today I'm talking about them, right? So without these principles of life, no one can exist. Activities of the living being involve engagements in these 4 different principles of life. Especially in modern society, all activities are more or less dependent on hearing and glorifying. Now, distorted, okay, distorted way of hearing and glorifying marketing, right? Any man from any social status must become a well-known man in human society within any man from any social status becomes a well-known man in his human society within a very short time if he's simply glorified truly or falsely in the daily newspaper. All right. Sometimes political leaders of a particular party are also advertised by newspaper propaganda. And by such a method of glorification, an insignificant man becomes an important man within no time. Prabhupada knows, right? He's witnessing all this. That's why he's writing it. But such propaganda by false glorification of an unqualified person cannot bring about any good, either for the particular man or for the society, because you're fooled. Right? You're fooled. Just like, everybody's running to counselors these days. Advisors and counselors. Anybody, even a young boy and girl who's graduating, with God knows what, they're 20 years old, 21, 20, they're becoming counselors and advisors, and old men and women are going to them for counseling. And why? Because they graduated, they got a certificate, I'm a counselor. Isn't it, Ashwini? Met like this?
Yeah, so much counseling nowadays.
So it brings good to nobody, and very soon after, the person thought, I lost my money. I went to a counselor, right? Men and women are fighting, then they say we went to this counselor, right? And they say we wasted our money. Nothing came out from it. So because a piece of paper, here's a degree holder in counseling, psychology. So there may be some temporary reaction to such propaganda, but there are no permanent effects. Therefore, such activities are a waste of time. The actual object of glorification is the Supreme Person Godhead, who has created everything manifested before us. We have broadly discussed this fact from the beginning of the Janmadi Asya shlok of this Bhagavatam. The tendency to glorify others or hear others must be turned to the real object of glorification, the Supreme Being, and that will bring happiness. So everybody's got one subject, that they like to glorify. Either they want to glorify their kid, whole day they go on talking. I don't know whether they still do it. All the mothers are dumping their kids in the crash, so they don't meet their children. But usually it's such a time, the mother will go on talking each and every activity this little cute boy and girl did, right? And everybody else will say yes, yes, and then they get bored. He'll just be talking about his child, he did this, right? Or the newly betrothed, couple will only be talking about each other until things fade out. Yeah. Glorification. So text 15, we'll do one more. Yadano yuktah karmagranti nibandhanam chindanti kuvidastasya ona kuriyat katharatim. Now, instruction is being given by who? Who's speaking here? Who's speaking all these verses?
Suta Goswami.
Yes, Sutta Goswami. And from where did he get this instruction?
From Sukdev Goswami.
Yeah, he
Because
heard all this from Shukadev Goswami. And he's repeating what he has heard with a sword in hand. With a sword. With sword in hand. Intelligent men cut through the binding knots of reactionary work, karma, nibandhana, internet. So our karma is like knotted, you have a string that is knotted and you can't untie it. So what should we do? Cut. Cut this knot of karma. How? By remembering the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will not pay attention to his message? The conscience is blowing. Who will not pay attention to his message? Now, just hear how Prabhupada is going to explain this amazing purpose. The contact of the spiritual spark with material elements creates a knot which must be cut if one wants to be liberated from the actions and reactions of fruity work, meaning that this Atma, this Jeev, okay, the spiritual spark, this Jeev is going to contact material elements, and when they meet, they create a knot, they tie it knotted together. All right, this Jeev, the spark, and the material elements they come in touch, in contact with each other, and they create a knot, and you can't untie it. The soul is completely knotted to the material body. Granthi, the Granthi is made. Liberation means freedom from the cycle of reactionary work. So what is it that is knotting this Atma to this material body? It is karma. This liberation automatically follows for one who constantly remembers the transcendental pastime of the personality of Godhead. This is because all the activities of the Supreme Lord, his Leela are transcendental to the modes of material energy. They are all attractive spiritual activities, and therefore constant association with the activities of the Supreme Lord gradually spiritualizes the conditioned soul and ultimately severs the knot of material bondage. I will just explain, how in this material world, you go on hearing about something. And what happened? You start developing an attachment and you create a bandhan with that person or that object. And you're gripped. You're gripped. For example, a girl gets lured by a boy. All right? Maybe the girl was not interested. Gradually, she gets lured, and when she's captured, she's just captured. She's caught, she's captured. Right? And how did it happen? By constant talking. That's how the person got captured, or a boy gets captured by a girl, right? By talking. So here, Prabhupada is saying that Krishna's activities, his talk, hearing about his activities, these activities are spiritual. So when we go on hearing about Krishna Katha, Krishna's Leela, we get caught by Krishna, and therefore we are able to move out from the material elements and we join the spiritual nature. And if we go on hearing the nonsense of the material world, then we will get captured just by sound. All right? It is sound that is capturing us. So sound is capturing us and making us become a monkey in this material world. And if we are to be liberated from it, then we have to hear another type of sound. We have to hear about Krishna, the Supreme Person Godhead, his Leela, his Guna, his friends, his family members, his household work. So it spiritualizes. So the hearing, constant association through hearing, constant association with the spiritual activities of Supreme Lord, gradually, just like this boy or the girl gradually got hooked and lured and captured, right? Gradually, so similarly, gradually, we get captured and hooked onto Krishna, and therefore we become free from the bondage of material life. So gradually, so what we are doing right now, and I'm so appreciative that you're here, you're regularly, you want to learn, you want to listen. So what is happening? Gradually, the conditioned soul is becoming free from material association, and ultimately, meaning it takes time, it's not just overnight, not pop in the pill, right? Doesn't work like this. Gradually, we have to go on investing. Krishna is not cheap, right? Krishna is not cheap. We have to make a constant effort, right? It's hard to get Krishna. Liberation from material bondage is therefore a byproduct of devotional service. So now Prabhupada is saying that this chanting and hearing about Krishna is Shravanam, which is an anga of bhakti. The 9 anga of bhakti, right? Previous verse 14 says, Shrotavya, hearing, Kirtitavyascha, meaning chanting, Dhyeya, thinking, remembering, Pujas, meaning worshipping, Nityada, constantly. We do these 4 activities: hearing, chanting, worshipping, remembering. These 4 activities. These are the methods, and this is exactly what we are doing right now. These are the method by which the mind gradually gets captured by Krishna. So when the mind is getting captured by Krishna, we are becoming attracted to Krishna. Liberation is a byproduct, meaning you automatically become liberated from your karma. Attainment of spiritual knowledge is not sufficient to ensure liberation. So if somebody says, yes, I know I'm not the body. I know I'm spirit soul. I have understood what is this material creation. And I have known there is a Brahman. Brahman meaning which is a spiritual existence. I have heard all this. But I do not engage in devotional service. I cannot be liberated. Attainment of spiritual knowledge is not sufficient to ensure liberation. Such knowledge must be overcoated with devotional service, so that ultimately the devotional service alone predominates. So if you find somebody engaged in devotional service, what is that devotion? Meaning my aim is to please Krishna. Has been defined before. Okay, if my aim is to, sorry. Oh God. If my aim is to please Krishna, whatever work I'm doing in Varnashram, and my aim is to please Krishna. And why am I aiming to please Krishna? Because I have knowledge. But if I have knowledge, but still, I don't bother to aim my work towards Krishna, then it is useless. Such knowledge must be overcoated with devotional service, so that ultimately the devotional service alone predominates, meaning that I want to serve Krishna in whatever way. So, so that's how so many people, they come with their own tendencies. And when they join the temple, they want to do this work. So, like, they are using their natural abilities. It may be in conditioned state, but when they are using this ability in Krishna's service, so they have got knowledge. So gradually, they become attached to Krishna, and then that same work that they were doing in the material world, it becomes total and absolute devotional service. Just like Krishna told Arjuna, you are Kshatriya, you fight. He didn't say, okay, let me pull out a Brahmana and say, do whatever I ask you to do. You take up arms, you fight. He didn't do this. He utilized a Kshatriya, meaning you have this ability. So now use your ability as service for me. Arjuna was bewildered. Right? He didn't know whether he should work or not. Right? So I don't know what I'm supposed to do. He was bewildered. His knowledge was covered. Right? All right. So now, if he says, yes, I have understood, and he didn't fight. All right. So many of us, we do this. Yes, I have understood. But you don't do anything for Krishna. All right. If you have understood, 100% you are going to do something for Krishna. Like Prabhupada. Like he worked till his last bone. He worked. Right? In devotional service. To please the Supreme Lord. So he not only had knowledge, but he was ready to sacrifice himself in Krishna's service. Karma overcoated with devotional service is called Karma Yoga. Similarly, empirical knowledge overcoated with devotional service is called Jnana Yoga. But pure Bhakti Yoga is independent of such karma and jnana, because it alone cannot only endow one with liberation from conditioned life, but also award one the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So there is karma, and say, yes, what I'm doing, I'm a karma yogi. Is it true you're karma yogi? No, they're karmis actually. Why they're karmis? Because they are giving in charity in order to get 10 times back. All right. Oh, I'm a jnani. What is a jnani? A scientist is also a jnani, but he's an atheist. Hiranyakashipu was a jnani. Ravan was jnani, was Brahmana, right? Jnani, big jnanis, but when he was told, surrender to Ramchandra, no. Right? So a karma yogi is the way I had described. He has his skills, his abilities, and he said, let me engage this skill in Krishna's service. He's a karma yogi and someone who likes to study. So he studies, but he's looking for Krishna when he's studying. So he's a jnana yogi. So when these two, the karma yogi and the jnana yogi, they progress, Vasudevam sarvamiti jnanavam mam prapadyante was that. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavam mam prapadyante. Right? So after Bahunam Janmanam ante, after so many birth and death, this Jnani, when finally Vasudeva Sarvamiti, he surrenders to Krishna, knowing that Vasudeva is everything. So this is a Jnana yogi. In the beginning, he may have been just, a scholar. He's looking out, he's trying to understand. See, then pure bhakti yoga, however, it doesn't matter. It doesn't depend on how much charity you give. It doesn't matter on, how much you study the books. If you are working only for Krishna, irrespective of your position, who you are, whether you're a child, whether you're a woman, whether you're a Shudra, whether you're Brahmana, irrespective of who you are, if you will engage in devotional service, this is sufficient. I'm thinking of Sabari, right? Sabari, a simple lady, right? Simple lady. She was a tribal lady, is it? That's what I heard. She was a tribal lady, and her marriage time had come, and so her father had killed, so many animals for her wedding. So this girl, when she saw all this, she asked her father, why? What are all this? So the father says, your wedding. So they have, killed so many animals for the feast, for the guest. So this girl said, for my wedding, so many animals have been killed. She ran away. She ran away from her father's house. She ran away in the forest and she came to Matanga Rishi, some Rishi's cottage, where he had disciples. And now she's a woman. A woman, they can't stay in the ashram, right? But from far away, still she stayed. And gradually, she got accepted. She got accepted by that Muni. What great scholar is she? A scholar. Did she follow any principles of, brahmachari life, austerities, sannyas life? No. She just had a natural disgust for material life. And she was guided to a proper rishi and she joined the ashram. So she stayed away. The rishi accepted her. Right? She accepted her, kept the distance, but accepted her. And when everybody was gone, she got the benediction. Ram Chandra will come. You wait. Ram Chandra will come. So pure bhakti is independent of such karma and jnana. because it alone can not only endow one with liberation from conditioned life, but also award one the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Right? So when Ramachandra came, she grew old, suffering, waiting and waiting when Ramachandra will come. But maybe our case also, we are doing our sadhana thinking, when will Krishna become visible to me, right? So she became old. And when Rama finally came and visited her house, right? What did she do? Immediately she was awarded transcendental loving service of the Lord, right? She collected those bale fruit, right? Bora, they call it Bora. She collected those fruits, right? And she tasted and say, okay, this is mitha. So which is mitha she offered to Ramachandra, right? So you're getting an idea what is bhakti? Hmm? And see, actually, I saw so many of these simple ladies who come to the temple, can see how they are overflowing with bhakti. They look simple ladies, but they are like so much devotion.
Same here, Mataji, in Mayapur. These ladies, early in the morning, they come for Mangalarti, just one shawl, and they, with their children, they're running. My God, I get so amazed by, now there's so much cold also. But they come from where they come. Everybody must be staying far away. How they come? But so many ladies
Yeah,
and
crowds,
come with
crowds.
children, small children coming running without chappals. Oh my God, their devotion is amazing.
And they're
They're coming from
crossing,
far.
yeah, they're crossing the Jalangi, they are crossing, all the rivers they are coming.
Coming, I don't know. Really, we are staying close by, that's why we are coming. But they are coming from such distance. Really. I also was thinking about that.
And they take risk, take great
And,
risk.
and
Yeah.
another story in Mayapur is they come with bags in during festival time and they
Mhm.
sleep out. There are
Yeah.
mosquitoes, they get mosquito, they're sleeping, just bedding they get in so much of humility. They are everywhere in the campus. But they just want to come uh, with so much of no arrangements for them to stay or food or water or bathrooms. They manage here, there somehow. They're sleeping at night on festival days. Really, so much love for Lord. And they're ready to not have any comforts of life. Come here and stay.
True bhavana, isn't it? Bhavana for
Yeah,
bhakti. Mm.
yeah. Means they don't want any comfort. They just ready for Dham to stay in Dham. Anything on the road, on just very humbly. They're sleeping on the floor. In the morning they get up, then they're looking for a bathroom. Where is the bathroom to take bath? So much. We
Yeah,
need always convenience. Place to stay. चाय की नहीं, AC है कि नहीं, fan है कि
faith,
नहीं,
isn't it,
all
as
that.
well? It's faith as well, isn't it?
Huh?
It's faith as well. They have faith. We're going, we'll
Yeah,
find, wherever
yeah,
we leave,
very
we'll be
strong, very strong.
And Ganga Devi is there, right?
there. Is Mataji frozen? I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, looks like she's frozen.
Got one more chapter left now in this last one.
No, I think this is last one's already 9:30.
And we've got one more chapter left in this text 15.
Just last text
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, last one we got therefore any sensible, starting with.
You are the host.
Don't know if she's coming back.
Where are you, Usha? Where are you in
In London.
UK?
Yeah, I'm in
London.
London.
Oh, even Rashmi is in London.
Yeah, yeah.
You know each other.
Old London.
Oh,
Okay, I got lost.
Yes, we
yeah.
noticed you got lost.
All right. Okay, so much, right, to learn.
Mataji, I have a lot of questions. Is it okay or is it late for you?
It's late. It's 7:30 now.
Okay, I will write
What
them.
what question you have?
Mataji, I have a lot of questions. Mataji,
Yeah.
one of the questions is that I like to read and I like to hear.
Hmm.
So all day I can do that, hearing and reading. And I was with the Vrindavan group. I'm studying Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. So in that one of the verses, just few days ago, it was that verse said that. By reading Shastra, that Shastra which is increasing our bhakti, by reading that Shastra, it is pleasing to the Lord. So you must read Shastra. So if we are doing that, so then if we are, I am reading because I like to read. I want to, it's just nice to read about Krishna. So does that make me Gyan Yogi? Because you just said about Gyan Yogi, right? Just now in last 5 minutes, 5-6 minutes, you said about the Gyan Yogi. So, but the Gyan Yogi, Mataji, isn't it the Gyan Yogi so the Gyani is the one who is wanting to merge into the Brahman effulgence. So
Yeah.
that verse, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gyanvan Mam Prapadyante, that verse is talking about the Gyani, no, not about the Gyan Yogi, na?
That verse is speaking about the special Gyani. All right. There are so after so many years of reading, studying, speculating, finally he comes to a conclusion that Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Right? So he was coming closer. Right? In the beginning, he started off this way. So Bahuna, after so many lifetimes of reading, studying, researching, so he concludes. So he has reached the perfection of his jnana, right? So jnana yoga here, empirical knowledge overcoated with devotional service is called jnana yoga. So if somebody is using his understanding in Krishna's service, then this is Gyan Yoga. But Bhakti Yoga means we read somewhere before that it is, I just gave the example of what is Bhakti Yoga, right? Like Sabari, I gave that example. So she had a natural Gyan in her. What was that what was that natural Gyan that Krishna, Rama is more important than my marriage and killing animals? The natural understanding. She didn't have to go study, look out, what's the aim of life? Who I am? No, natural. Anyway, don't think too much. I think we have understood sufficiently. Oh, therefore, any sensible man who is above the average man with a full fund of knowledge must constantly remember the person in Godhead by hearing about him, by glorifying him, by remembering him, and by worshipping him always, without cessation. That is the perfect way of devotional service. The Goswamis of Vrindavan, who were authorized by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to preach the Bhakti Kal, rigidly followed this rule and made immense literatures of transcendental science for our benefit. They have chalked out ways for all classes of men in terms of the different castes and orders of life in pursuance of the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam and similar other authorities. Scriptures. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is a manual for practice of devotional service. So we are studying Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu not as a jnani. Now, if you take the same book, you put it in a school of philosophy, they're going to study as a jnani, right? But when the bhakta will study it under the line of the 6 Goswamis, they will see it in completely different light.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, I have also one more question. Just quickly, Mataji, I know you're getting very late. Mataji, I have a problem that I go to temple, I go to do my service in the temple on a Sunday. I don't like to, but I go on a time when there is nobody there. It's just me. I can clean as much as I want. And there are few brahmacharis roaming around, but other than that, there is nobody there. I don't like to go in too much association because I find that the people here, they don't like to read, they don't like to hear. They just want to do cooking. They just want to do cooking, and then just. So I see that I'm seeing that bad side in them. It's very bad. That's a bad thing that I'm doing. But I don't feel like associating with them. I don't see because they have no interest in the class. When some Maharaj comes and giving classes, such beautiful classes, Vrindavan Chandra Maharaj came. Hardly 5, 6, very less people were there. It was so disappointing. He's come all the way from Vrindavan. Such beautiful lectures he gave, but nobody was there. Very few people. Such a huge congregation is here, Mataji, where I live in Leicester. 300, 400 devotees. They do a lot of seva, but for them, Shravan is not part of their seva. So I don't feel like associating with them. So, Mataji, is that okay?
They are doing service. No, they are doing service for Krishna. They're cooking, they're offering to Krishna, and they are distributing prasadam to everybody. Right?
Yeah.
So, see, when they're coming to the temple, so I don't know, maybe they're listening to, maybe not at that time. So if they have to choose between this one and that one, they found that this is more important, right? Ashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavad sevaya. So that question was asked when Srimad Guru Maharaj, and Prabhupada explained this also. Anyway, we are going to, on text 18 is going to come. Text 18. Prabhupada speaks about serving the personality Bhagavad and serving Srimad Bhagavatam by hearing. There are 2 ways. You hear Srimad Bhagavatam, this is service, and you serve the Bhagavat. All right? And Srila Prabhupada says it is mystical. Nobody can understand how is it the person progresses. Nobody can understand this. But whoever engage in devotional service. Okay. On text 18, second paragraph. The devotee Bhagavat is a direct representative of Bhagavan, the person Godhead. So by pleasing the devotee Bhagavat, one can receive the benefit of the book Bhagavat. Human reason fails to understand how by serving the devotee Bhagavad or the book Bhagavad, one gets gradual promotion on the path of devotion. But actually, these are facts explained by Srila Narada Dev, who happened to be a maidservant's son in his previous life. The maidservant was engaged in the menial service of the sages, and thus he also came into contact with him. And simply by associating with them and by accepting the remnants of footsteps left by the sages, the son of the maidservant got the chance to become the great devotee and personality Srila Narada Dev. These are the miraculous effects of the association of Bhagavatas. And to understand these effects practically, it should be noted that by such sincere association of the Bhagavad, one is sure to receive transcendental knowledge very easily, with the result that he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. The more progress is made in devotional service under the guidance of the Bhagavad, the more one becomes fixed in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The messages of the book Bhagavad therefore have to be received from the devotee Bhagavad. And the combination of these two Bhagavatas will help the neophyte devotee to make progress on and on. So the neophyte, they're not interested in studying, all this, maybe it's just too much for them, But they want to do service. And what is the service? It is Krishna's service, right? They're cleaning Krishna's temple. And this is given in Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's prayer, Shringara Tan Mandiru Marjanadu, right? Vande Guru Shri Charana Aravindam. If they don't cook, who will cook? If everyone sit in Bhagavatam class and listen, who will cook? And how will the feast be served? Right? So I don't know what they are doing, in the other times. But do you follow this?
Yes, Mataji. Basically, every devotee has their propensities, their specific likings. And Bhakti is very, I understood Bhakti is so generous. She will encompass everybody.
Yeah, we just read here, Bhagavad Sevaya, right?
Yeah.
Prabhupada
they-
said, human reason failed to understand how by serving. Human reason fails to understand how by serving the devotee Bhagavad or the book Bhagavad, one gets gradual promotion on the path of devotion. My Guru has explained this. He said that Prabhupada kept them so busy, they had no time to read. And my Guru was like to read. He likes to read, and he had no time. So he complained to Prabhupada. And this verse, Prabhupada explained this verse. If you are, doing the mission, the perfection of all your hearing is to serve, right? If you're doing it naturally, then what? If other people, you go on hearing, sitting in class, hearing, you're not ready to lift a finger and distribute a book, then what's the use of your life?
Yes, Mataji.
So see, it's a science. And anyway, next week we're going to read this better, properly. Be there.
I'm not going to make it next week. Sorry, Mataji. I've got visitors next week, so I'll listen to the recording. Sorry, I can't.
All right.
At the week after.
Okay. Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Krishna.